Capcom is a video game powerhouse with several classics from the 80s and 90s. The immortal John Hancock here with another ranking video. I've done several of these and the link will be below to the other ranking videos I've done for the Sega Genesis. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm doing videos every week. Now, here is my scoring table that I'm using for today. And in today's video, I look at the 6 games that Capcom published themselves for the Sega Genesis and give each game a grade. And so you may have your own opinions of these games and you can comment below what you think of my scoring as well as your own opinions. First up, we're going to talk about Mega Man Wily Wars. And so this game was not released in the US on physical cart. It was released overseas. It was offered on the Sega channel and a subscription service, and very expensive back in the day. Eventually, and enthusiastically, people were excited that this was one of the many games offered on the Sega Genesis Mini. And so, what is Mega Man Wily Wars? If you haven't played it, it's pretty much taking Mega Man 1 through 3 on the NES and giving them a Mario Stars upgrade. And so, there is gameplay balance changes. The sound is different. I don't know if it's better, but it is different. Overall, I love it. I think it's great. I think it is a great addition to the Sega Genesis library. I'm a huge Mega Man fan. So if you haven't checked this out and you've just played the NES versions of Mega Man, this is a real treat. Now, if you beat all 3 games, then it unlocks a different mode called Wily Tower, and that adds additional gameplay, and that's a lot of fun and very challenging. And so what I like about this is it definitely has its own look and feel. The best thing about Mega Man Wily Wars is it takes game levels from the NES and adds additional graphic features. It makes certain levels look totally different. Now, for some people, they may not like that. They may just want to remember Mega Man 1 through 3 on the NES, the look and the sound and the feel. This definitely has kind of a different, unique personality to it. I'm going to give this an A. I think it's excellent and a wonderful addition to the Sega Genesis library. Next up is the decent arcade port Saturday Night Slam Masters. Now, if you're a fan of arcade and fighting and wrestling games, you're going to like this. This is a decent port of the arcade game. It does take out the 4-player support, unfortunately, but it does add deathmatch and 2 characters. The Scorpion and Jumbo are playable in this version, and the Super Nintendo one doesn't have those 2 characters, but it has 4-player support. So, there's pros and cons of this version of the game. Overall, I think it's a decent fighting wrestling game with a character nod from another Capcom game. I think this is a decent fighting wrestling game, and if you're a fan of wrestling games, you're going to love this game. If not, I still think this is worth checking out and one of the better wrestling games on the Sega Genesis. I give this a solid B. You can't talk about fighting games without bringing up Street Fighter II, and the Sega Genesis got an exclusive Special Championship Edition to its library first. Now, what's cool about this game is it has the unlocked hyper mode and it's incredibly fast. What you notice about this game, you take the 8 original fighters from Street Fighter II, add the 4 playable boss characters, and you got a very decent version of Street Fighter II. Now, is it better than the Super Nintendo version? The original one, I like this one better than the original Street Fighter II. This is always going to be in the shadow of Street Fighter II Turbo for the Super Nintendo, which I personally would rate that one an S. So, is this good? Absolutely. This is a very, very competent fighting game with all the different modes in it. It does add a new group battle mode, but it's all about the hyper for me. I love playing that mode, super fast. Also, there's a cardboard box version of this game for collectors out there. And so if you want to pursue variants, there you go. So what do I give this game? I still think this is an awesome fighting game, and I'm going to give it an A. Next up is the follow-up to the addition to the Sega Genesis Street Fighter II, and that's Super Street Fighter II. Now, this takes an already good game, adds 4 additional playing characters, tweaks some things in it. Now, I know, okay, the sound is not the best in this game, but that's not why I play a fighting game. I can just turn that down. I've never been a fan of some of the sound effects in this. Overall, the music was good. I just some of the sound effects definitely and the digitized voices in it aren't the best. Does that make it a bad game? Absolutely not. Still, in my opinion, I think Super Street Fighter 2 is one of the best fighting games on the Sega Genesis. And with the additional characters, Fei Long being one of my favorites, I'm going to give this an S. Next up is Magical Quest 2, also known as The Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie. Now, this is a solid platformer, 2-player options, very colorful. I am a big fan of platform games, and this is a solid addition. I love the outfit system in this game. So each stage you have an outfit, but there's also these stores that you can gather currency and upgrade your outfits for additional features. I think this is a wonderful game. It's got cool boss fights. This really shows kind of the power that Capcom had making these types of games. Do not overlook this game. I think this is a way above average platform game that's often overlooked. Check this out. It's also on the Super Nintendo with some slight differences to some graphics, but the Sega Genesis one is amazing, and I'm going to give this a solid A. Next up is one of my favorite brawlers on the Sega Genesis. It was an arcade port exclusive to the Sega Genesis, and that's The Punisher. Oh my goodness, I love this game. It's fast, it's furious. It's got 2-player options. It's got throws and moves. Is it better than Streets of Rage 2 for me? No, but it's still in the top 3 for brawlers for me on the Sega Genesis, with awesome, fast gameplay, different moves, tons of enemies, and runs fairly fast. It's gritty. The color palette could have been a little bit better. It definitely shows the limitations of the Sega Genesis color palette. But overall, what do I think of this game? I give this a solid A. If you haven't checked out The Punisher, the Sega Genesis version is decent and well worth going back and playing this one with a friend. Definitely has some really cool, neat features in it, and that's it. So that is my ranking of the 6 games released for the Sega Genesis. Here they are. What are your opinions of these? I would love to hear your thoughts, and I do want you to comment below. As always, thank you for the ongoing support. I am marching towards 100,000 subs. I am getting really close. Thank you for the ongoing support. I'm doing several videos, and I'm having a lot of fun doing so. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you so much, and you take care.